about me. Like, I am creative by nature, to the extent that if I'm not careful, I will get so consumed in my ideas, my creative ideas, that I will lose money with the business side of things. You understand?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have contracts that are worth tens of thousands of dollars, you see, and I would much rather work on this idea that's going to make me nothing, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just excited
Yeah.
about it because it's something that my kids will find cool. I have this little video game that I'm working on, and so that's what consumes me. Like, I'm like, it's not just a passion for me. It's a all consuming part of who I am that I'm now finding a way to monetize as well, so my wife doesn't look at me crazy like, what are you doing? So,
Right.
yeah.
And I'm glad that you see that in yourself. So many stories end in tragedy where it's you just get so caught up in the next idea, and you never finish the one idea, and you could make some money at it, or at least you could have something to build on. And I mean, in the podcasting world, I've seen many people start a show and then start a second show, start a third show, and then all of them crash. So just recognizing that probably keeps you sane more often than it doesn't.
Yes, you're right. It does. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me sane. And, I'm at a point like this Araya project, the one that I have the Kickstarter for right now, is actually a part of me slowing down, actually. So I don't know how people, do Kickstarters. As I said, this is my first one. The project that I'm raising funds for is actually 90% already completed. Okay.
That's a good way to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I don't know if this is normal or not, but my project is 90% completed. And I had all intent to complete it on my own. I didn't intend to do a Kickstarter. But what started happening is I realized that there were people out here that just loved what I was doing, believed in what I was doing. And I was being selfish. I felt like I was being selfish in kind of way because I was not allowing them to be a part of the process.
Yeah.
Not allowing them to be a part of, what I'm doing. I had thus far only allowed people to consume it, right? But not be a part of the production. So I slowed down the production on this project. I'm at 90% now, and said, you know what, let me stop and test this Kickstarter model, test the crowdfunding model, not so much to raise the money as much as to build the fandom, build the infrastructure, build the ecosystem of people, my ride or diers, my tribe, as they call them, Team BLC. So that's why I have a Kickstarter now. We're 3 days in the campaign. We're already at 50% funded. We're already beyond the 50% mark. So I'm excited about that. I'm grateful for that. And man, I'm hoping that I'm doing it right. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know what's the right way, the best practice for Kickstarter. I'm doing what I know, and then I asked a few people to, give me a couple tips, and they gave me tips, and I ran with it. So
I actually have somebody I want to hook you up with, and you get ahead of us, which is okay. That we're going to say, no, you're fine, man. I love it. You're so passionate. It's how do I start a Kickstarter campaign successfully? And that's we're going to jump into. What is your actual Kickstarter link?
I already put it in the chat.
Yeah, I put it in here.
Cool.
I hope that works. Test it first to see if it works, please.
Well, that's what we're about to do here. Well, no.
So while you're checking that, I have a feeling that if you ended up saying, okay, you know what, Black Lion and Cubs, I'm selling the brand. I am, somebody wants to buy it. I'm selling the whole kit and caboodle. I'm doing that. The next day you make something else.
Absolutely.
I mean, you just have that vibe about you that just like you're a creative person. You have to create or else you are miserable.
Create or die.
Right.
Yes,
right. Yeah. So I no doubt that you're going to end up being successful just because you can't stop. Like, so, and, a lot of it is the persistence, right? It's just, you got to just keep going.
A friend of mine, someone shared this statement with me, and it just it connected with me. They said, live full and die empty. Live full and die empty. And I said, that's it right there. That's how I live my life. I want to live fully. I want to have the money and everything I need, the resources to travel and take care of my children and go to private school if we want to, or whatever it is, right? But then also I want to die empty. I don't want to carry any of this that I have within me to the grave. And that's part of the reason why I work at such a breakneck speed. It's a compulsion for me to not just have the idea, but produce it, put it out there. And so living full and dying empty is the motto at this point. And I'm very excited and grateful to people like you guys that allow me to just express myself and just get it out there to the masses.
I gotta say, you got some really great tiers here. As everybody sees here on the screen, and if you go to Kickstarter.com, you should be able to look up Amazing Araya anime short film. We'll have the link in our show notes, of course. It's project/Black Lion and Cubs /family friendly anime short film, but all that's hyphened at the end. And I can show you how to make a short URL to push that out to tell people about it too. Yeah, man, halfway to your goal, you set a nice, low, achievable goal. That is a great way to start a good Kickstarter. Because you like you said, you already had it 90% done. You're already doing it. And this is that way to get people involved. Man, I love it. It's you jump in at $25, you get all 3 of your manga style graphic novels. That's a good get there. And they get to be a part of the process. And that's cool. What else? Well, you want to talk about? I want to jump to this one. You can talk about the other levels, but that gold level, that commemorative coin, that thing is sharp.
Man, thank you. I'm really proud of that. So I have it right here. This is it right here. That's heavy. That's real.
It is heavy.
Yeah, that's real right there. So this is what it looks like. On one side, this is our commemorative coin there. Yeah. It says, "May the power of peace be with you," and then the other side it has the logo. And I have about 30 of these. So it's a limited edition coin that I have for Black Lion and Cubs. And what I'm actually, the coin I had for a while. What's new for me is this right here, the box. So I have this gift box that everything comes in, and you open it up. You see, even the back is, on the back side too. And
that is sharp.
Thank you. So inside come the coin, the graphic novels. Sorry about the blur. I need to take the blur.
That's all good. You're good. Yeah.
But the graphic novels, that's number 1. This is number 2, and you saw number 3.
Yeah.
Then I have the pins.
Enamel pins. Those are really good too.
Thank you. And then I have the collector cards, a deck of cards here. So, because I produced so much before this anime, I believe has given me a little leg up in being able to offer people rewards different from what other people are able to offer. Because not only do I have so many products, but they're already completed. So I can show you these things here and now because I have them in-house. So as soon as this is funded, this is not, people don't have to wait a month or multiple months to receive these things. Like as soon as it's done, the anime is going to be done just like that. These gifts go right to you. They're physical products. And my hope is that that's attractive to backers on Kickstarter. I have no idea if it is or not, though. So,
I will say what I've seen be successful on Kickstarter is passion. One, you're already showing them, hey, this is done. They're not helping you start the anime. They're not getting, here's how I get to buy a copy of the anime. It is, hey, you get to see this thing that I'm doing, but here's the stuff I've already done that you can get like that. And that I think is important. It helps attract backers and pledgers, because I know when I pledge on Kickstarter, it's very much, I feel like I'm taking a chance, right? Will they finish the project? Will they send these things out? I back Lycan Solomon's Odyssey. I'm executive producer on that book. And it takes the better part of 8 months for it to come out, because he's always got the book done, but then the publishing of the book and the printings rather, and then the printings of the prints and everything else that goes with that Kickstarter, it just takes time. But yeah, you having the anime 90% done is pretty key, because you're going to finish. And Dennis Robinson, I'll get you his email after this. He's the one who does Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey, and he's done 3 successful Kickstarters, and each one is built on the last one. And the first one, the book was 100% done. It was ready to go. He already had it at the printers and everything else. So it really was just about recouping some of the costs that he already put out on that, and then shipments and stuff. But the thing you're not talking about yet is this platinum level creative masterclass. That I don't see very often. Tell us about the masterclass.
So when I launched Black Lion and Cubs a year and a half ago, I launched with a graphic novel, a video game, and the anime all at the same time. They launched on the same day. And I didn't launch a campaign. These are the products that I launched. You understand? Yeah. And that was, I don't know if it was historic, but but it was like, it caught a lot of attention, because so seldom do people see a major or an indie release so much, at the same time. And so, in short, it catapulted me into the consciousness of the indie creative community. This person that seemingly came out of nowhere, who already has a video game, already has an anime, already has a graphic novel, and they're putting it out all at the same time. So it's prompted a lot of questions from a lot of people saying, Hotep, how are you able to do this? How are you able to do so much so quickly, and so quickly without crowdfunding? Because again, this is being done without the crowdfunding, without Kickstarter. And so a lot of people had questions about what I was doing and what I was utilizing. And I decided to create a whole course. I recorded 7 hours of content to explain my entire process. I take people from thought to finish in this indie creative masterclass to show people how to create their own video games, their own animation, their own graphic novels, to get it done, how to get it done quickly, and how to get it done at a fraction of the cost. Okay. And so that's the reason why, for example, raising $1,000, my project's already done. I'm raising $1,000 for this Kickstarter to allow people to participate in and to be a part of the final leg of it. But I'm not raising the money because I need it to finish, you see. And so that was attractive to people. So I created the indie creative masterclass. That course alone sells for $500. Like that alone, I sell that for $500. But I decided for this that I would add it as one of my tiers for my backers, because again, if someone's backing me, that means a lot to me. Like, for people to take their time to log in, to take their money and support a project means a lot to me. And so I'm going to do everything I can to give back to them. And that's what that is. That's why I'm throwing everything out there. Whatever I have, it's at your disposal. Thank you for being a part of my process and joining Team BLC.
Random Kid says, I'm in love with the art style every time I look at the Black Lion and Cubs website. Do you sell your graphic novels at conventions like Dragon Con?
Yes. So first of all, thank you. I'm glad you like the art style. Speaking about art style real quick, let me, if I may, just speak about that. Part of my process, for people that are wondering. So I am two things. I'm a fan of amazing artwork. Like, I'm just a fan of art. Okay. And two, I'm a child of the 80s. So when I created Black Lion and Cubs, I did so with the intent and the vision in my head that I wanted to create something that reminds me of the things that I grew up on and loved during those days. Voltron, Transformers, Todd McFarlane, Frank Miller, John Byrne, Arthur Adams, those artists and such. So, and I can't forget Dennis Cowan as well. So when I created Black Lion and Cubs, part of the reason why I'm able to create so much in a short amount of time is because I have multiple artists that contribute to the Black Lion and Cubs brand. So I don't work on one comic book at a time. I'm working on 3 comic books at a time. And those 3 comic books are being drawn by different artists. And so if, for example, that person that's asking about my graphic novels, let me just first say, hey, don't wait till Dragon Con. Just back my project. You get the
there you go.
Yeah. And I'll sign them. You know, like, so I'm signing. So you don't just back this project. That if you like what I'm doing, my request is back this project, please, so I can bring you into my ecosystem. Okay. That being said, each of these graphic novels that you're asking about, the cover artist is the same artist, but the art style inside this one, for example, that's one artist. Okay. And you'll see his style is very different, for example, from this artist. Okay. So this artist, if you guys can see, different art style. I need to get that filter off of here. Hold on. I'm going to take the filter off. Give me a second. Let me take that blur off here. Virtual background, none. Here we go. All right. So now you guys can see. So this is one art style. Okay. And this is from another one of my books. Different artists, different art style. Okay. And I like each of them for a different reason. And so, and then if you get the third one, the third one has 3 different artists. So, volume 1, chapter 1 has one artist. Chapter 2 is a different artist. All right. And then chapter 3 has another artist. I don't know if you guys can really see this stuff, but
we can see it. Yeah.
So again, that's part of why I'm able to produce so much, but then also why the art, if you pay attention to it, like some people somebody asked me if I use AI, and I don't contribute to AI at all. I just hire multiple artists, and that's why sometimes when you're looking at the artwork, even the animation, one of my animations has multiple animators designing different parts of the animation. That was done on purpose too. That's a different project, not for this project. This project has one animation team, but you'll see that throughout the multiple animations that I have, they look different. They're different iterations from different animation teams that are working on my project.
So you just jumped into this, right? Did you do any kind of research on Kickstarter? Did you do any of that stuff?
So once I decided that I wanted to crowdfund, I did ask, my other creative friends, people that have produced comics, particularly comic creators. And they said, a lot of them said Kickstarter. They said Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Those were the top 2. And so then I did go do some research and, looked at the pros and cons of each of them. But at the end of the day, I went with Kickstarter because, one, it seems to be the most popular in the space of comics and anime. And it seemed to have a more social media type of construct that would make it easier for me to meet people, build a relationship with people. And so I'm still working through that, but so that's what I did when it came to deciding which platform I was going to use.
I got you. Joe, Kurt, have you done a Kickstarter? Do you ever support a Kickstarter?
Well, I've supported Kickstarters. Some of the ones that you have supported as well.
Sure.
I've not done a Kickstarter on my own, and mainly because I'm just simply not that creative. No, I haven't found the right project that would warrant me doing a Kickstarter. Like I do all kinds of stuff, but nothing that I could. I think something like a Patreon is probably more suitable for something that I do. But I love Kickstarters. I love the whole concept. I love the ability to crowdfund. I think that's kind of the whole supply and demand type thing comes down to you believe in a project and you can actually take part in funding it. Yes. Yeah, I dig it. And there's a direct result too. Like you can see it actually coming to fruition. And I love that.
Now, if you were to do this again, Hotep, is there anything you would do differently in your preparation for releasing the Kickstarter?
That's a great question. Yes. So, um, because I'm 85, 90% done, there are some things that my audience cannot contribute to because it's already set in stone. You see, I've noticed looking at some other Kickstarters, people offer in their tiers where you can name a character or you can design a character, stuff like that. Once I build out my ecosystem, I will consider, offering that level of involvement in my projects. At this point, when it comes, because this Araya project is 90% done, people will get credits, contribution credits and things in the end credits. Right now, that's about the best I can offer to people, but I can't allow them to, like I said, design a character or name anything because those parts are already done. So that's something I would consider in the future. One of the things. So what's really happening is I'm testing out this model because Kickstarter has already agreed to. I don't even know if I could talk about it. They've agreed. Kickstarter has. I've struck a relationship with Kickstarter around another project that I have, a video game that I've produced. That, man, listen, wait till y'all see this video game. Woo, I'm very proud of. In fact, the video game is so dope that I already have number 2 in production as well, the follow-up, because it's just that amazing. It's like really, and I've been testing it with gamers and such. So
if you need another beta tester, we're available.
Hey, you know what, Charles? I'll send it to you, my brother, so you can see. But in any case, Kickstarter is very excited about the video game. And so after this Araya project, this anime short project, will come the video game sometime in March, April. I say that to say that I decided to test Kickstarter with Araya to see how the system works, to see how people respond, to see how long it takes to get people involved, and see how people respond. Just trial and measure. I'm just trying things, measuring the results, and refining the process. So when it comes to the video game, even with Kickstarter's support, I have a better idea of what to expect, what to anticipate, and what I'm bringing to the table next to what they're doing as well. So
while you've been talking, this might be random, kid, don't know, but it's $500 and something. It's now up to $676.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah,
Dang,
that's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
It could be just random too, but who knows?
Who knows? And that's the thing. Yeah. See, I really wish, and that's one of the things I'm doing. Like, okay, wow, I wish there was a way to track where these people are coming from. Like, I have a team of people that are helping me. I send out texts and emails as well. And so, and then, we're doing, I just did a live. Now I'm doing this interview. Where are these people coming from? That's important because as I move forward, I want to know which activity I'm involved in is effective, is working, and what's not working. I want to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And so, man, that's great news, man. I'm really, I feel blessed. Like, it's important that you guys know this, and your audience knows this as well. I don't take for granted people's support. My journey has always been that of the individual that could never find a way. I've always had to make my own way. That's the reason. That's what I teach in that course. I call it the Make a Way method. I didn't want to be indie. I had to be indie. You understand? Because no one gave me nothing. When I was in the music, I wanted a record deal. No one gave me a record deal. It was either create, like my man Kurt, right? I had to either create or just die. Right. You understand? Yeah. That was it. I had no choice. Like, right. Some people have the choice to be indie because, the majors are after them and they have these people don't, for some reason, my history has always been like, people don't give me nothing. People always assume that I have it all or that, I don't need it. So at this point, when I put it out there for people to support, when I get it, I appreciate it. That's what this gift box and everything that you see in those tiers is about, me demonstrating my level of appreciation and gratitude to the people that take their time, make the effort, and contribute money, into my project. So, like I'm not going to sit here and cry in front of you guys and such, but it means a lot to me. Like, and I'm an emotional person. I'm sensitive, man, as an artist too, but it means a lot to me because I remember when that wasn't the case, that wasn't the case. So thank you guys. I'm grateful.
Do you get on TikTok or any other social media to sell your books, like to show them off, talk about them, and sell them?
No, I haven't. So to the question that was asked earlier, the majority of the work that I do, that when it comes to sales, comes from the in-person experience. I come from a generation and a culture that require that lives and feeds off of the human experience, the exchange of energy between one person and another. I'm a relationship builder. I'm a networker. So I get activated when I get into an environment and I see people and there's the hustle and the bustle. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I shake their hands, kissing the babies, all that. That excites me. And I'm good in that space. Like I'm not even just good. I'm great in that space. To the extent that it catches people off guard, my other creative friends off guard, because a lot of my creative colleagues, they're horrible in that space. Right? They're used to being behind and, and part of so my point is that's the space that I excel in. So I prefer the cons. I prefer getting behind the table and shaking hands and, complimenting people, smiling, talking about clothes or whatever it is. I just love being amongst people. I have not cracked the code for social media yet, for email marketing yet, for AI faceless. Like I don't faceless videos don't make sense to me because I want you to see my face. I want you to feel my passion. I want to see your face too. So that stuff doesn't make sense to me. So I'm not sure if I'm being left behind in that regard, but that's the long answer to your short question, Charles. No, I don't.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Why do you ask? Is that something?
Some other creators that I know, they do really well talking about their books on TikTok and sell them directly, and their cookbooks and things like that, coloring books, and so they'll have them made through Amazon. Then they'll order them at a huge discount for themselves, and then they just sell them directly to their audiences. So if you had an audience on TikTok, it might go well for you. But honestly, if you haven't even started TikTok, it sounds like your audience is the conventions and the real world and all the other things that you're doing. And I did get word that you were pitched to the Kennesaw State OwlCon. So we're going to see how we're trying to work that angle for you and see how that plays out. 'Cause I think you do really, really well there and do a great panel and sell a number of books and touch a number of lives. And it'd be really cool. So we got a few other things to hit because you got a lot of cool things to do with this.